When you're ready.
Okay. With COVID-19 taking the world by storm, it is clear that we are not ready to fight against these dangerous diseases. In the future, gene editing can help us prevent these future diseases, while we're also helping against genetic conditions from the past. From an ethical standpoint, however, usage in non-medical ways, like designer babies and human want, is unethical and must be avoided, and the gene technology must only be held by medical institutions. I'll be talking about genetic editing from the futuristic and ethical lenses, while eventually touching on how this becomes an economic issue in the future. Simply put, if we have an opportunity to prevent this death and combat genetic diseases and conditions, why wouldn't we take it? It comes with risks, but with 3 million birth defect deaths annually, that's a risk worth taking. The use of CRISPR is simple now that understood. Cas9 enzyme cuts the DNA's double helix, allowing for sequences to be added, deleted, and replaced. CRISPR is developing revolutionary therapies ranging from sickle cell anemia to blindness, and it could eventually become crucial in preventing otherwise possible deaths in the future. However, this technology is very advanced, and using it for other reasons than human need raises ethical concern. The concept of designer babies, where the same CRISPR editing is used to edit traits, simply changing looks, enhancing IQ, and improving fitness, is definitely possible for the future. This raises the fear of a Gattaca-like society. Many argue against DNA modifications because of uses like designer babies and the ethicality of that. It also goes against principles of justice and charity, and essentially disagrees with the ethics of many religions. So, both opting against DNA alteration and the unethical usage of it are polar opposites. So we kind of meet in the middle with this CRISPR technology only being restricted to medical institutions and to only attack serious health problems that could lead to death. Restricting such powerful tech to just medical use best sets society up for the future while remaining ethical. As shown here, a majority are in favor of specifically medical-based usage and not anything more. This is all new. CRISPR experiments didn't even begin until 2015. Although partly unsure of the effectiveness, eliminating genetic diseases is something that simply cannot be missed out on. To prevent risks of unethical uses and results, legislation must be passed to keep in good hands, and the less studied germline editing should be kind of steered away from. This is because with germline, traits are passed down from generation to generation, making designer baby-like possibilities super likely to occur and more harmful if they do occur. So this is where economic issues come into play. Sort of selecting traits for babies would be extremely expensive and only available to the elite class. Thus, edited traits passing down over generations through germline therapy would create a gap between rich and poor that only grows from generation to generation, because these enhanced humans would have an advantage over those who aren't enhanced. So with the top 10% of the US owning 77% of the wealth, as shown in this graph, that gap is desperate to shrink. Yet, without proper care of genetic modification, it actually could grow. To conclude, although DNA editing using CRISPR is essential for human advancement, it must be handled responsibly and with care. Even more research must be done on, for example, germline editing, and technology cannot be available for anything but medical uses. Many medical conditions may be gone in the future if this technology is handled in an ethical way and if economic problems don't come as a result of
A couple of questions. What information did you need that you weren't able to find or locate?
I guess I kind of wanted more statistics on my economic lens because I felt like I didn't have enough, and I ended up finding the kind of wealth gap statistics, but I wanted more and I wasn't able to find any.
All right. How is your conclusion in conversation with the body of literature or the research sources that you've examined?
So I kind of said that DNA editing through CRISPR is essential for human advancement, and a lot of things I read were also saying that, but they kind of didn't argue, like some things that were arguing for it didn't really show the counter arguments, and I thought I kind of adjust that with the conclusion.
Okay, thank you. Another round of applause.